My name is Bridget Cole. I'm 35 years old, a marketing manager in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm proud to say my life is something I built from the ground up. No shortcuts, no handouts, just years of hustle, late nights, and the kind of stubborn determination you only develop when you learn early that nobody is coming to rescue you. That morning started like any other weekday, busy, tense, and packed with deadlines. I was in a conference room at work, sitting through a morning meeting that already felt like it was dragging. The air was tight with that corporate pressure, people trying to sound confident while quietly panicking about targets and deadlines. I was focused, taking notes, ready to speak. Then my phone buzzed. Not once, twice, loud enough that it broke through the room's silence and pulled my attention away. I glanced down, expecting it to be an email alert or maybe a coworker asking for something urgent. But it was a text from my sister. Send me $2,800 for prom. For a second, I didn't move. I just stared at the screen like my brain refused to accept what I was reading. $2,800. For a dress? A limo? One night of showing off? One evening where she'd take pictures, dance for a few hours, and move on like it was nothing. My jaw tightened. I could literally feel the tension move from my shoulders to my throat. Without even thinking too long, I typed back, "Earn it yourself." Simple, direct, honest. I put my phone down and tried to pull myself back into the meeting, but my focus had already cracked. My mind was spinning. My sister was 18, old enough to work, old enough to understand money, old enough to know the difference between need and want. A few minutes passed. Then another message popped up, this time from my parents. Pay or get out of this family. It hit like a slap across the face. My heart started pounding, not because I was scared, but because something deep inside me was finally waking up. I'd spent years sending them money, believing it was for emergencies, for survival, for basic needs. I had convinced myself I was doing the right thing. But this wasn't an emergency. This was a demand, a threat, a power move. Prom money or disowned? Anger rose in me so fast I almost felt dizzy. But underneath the anger was something sharper, something painful. A realization I didn't want to admit. Maybe they had been taking me for granted much longer than I ever wanted to see. That entire day I couldn't focus. Every time I tried to work, my mind returned to those words. Pay or get out of this family. At lunch, my sister called me. Her voice was high and irritated, like I'd broken a promise I never made. "You're so selfish, Bridget," she snapped. "It's prom. It's important. Why can't you just help me?" I gripped my phone tightly, forcing myself to speak calmly. "You're 18, I said. "Plenty of kids work part-time for prom. Try it." She scoffed, like the idea of working was insulting. "You don't get it," she said. "I deserve this." Deserve. That word made my stomach turn. Before I could respond, she hung up, leaving silence on the line and a bitter taste in my mouth. I tried to push it aside and keep working, but it was impossible. All I could think about was every moment of my life where I had been forced to figure it out, while she got everything placed in her lap.
To understand why my sister's demand shook me so hard, you have to understand what my family has always been. I grew up learning one lesson early. If I wanted something, I had to earn it. My parents weren't the kind who encouraged me. They were the kind who dismissed me. My mother's favorite phrase whenever I needed support was, "Figure it out, Bridget." But with my sister, everything was different. She was their miracle baby, their second chance. I was 17 when she was born, already working part-time and preparing myself to leave the house as soon as I could. While I was paying for textbooks and juggling school with work, my parents were pouring their energy and their money into her. Designer clothes, lavished birthday parties, weekend trips with friends, and all of it happened while they claimed they were struggling. Their house in suburban Lincoln was always falling apart, always needing repairs they couldn't afford, yet somehow they still found money to keep my sister happy. By 25, I landed my first real marketing job. By 30, I was leading campaigns and earning well. I lived alone, comfortable, independent. And that's when my parents truly started seeing me differently. Not as a daughter, as a safety net. 4 years ago, I set up a joint family account. It was supposed to cover basics, utilities, groceries, small emergencies. I trusted them. I didn't monitor it closely because I was busy building my career. Looking back, the signs were there. New jewelry on my sister, expensive shoes, my mother's vague explanations about unexpected costs. I ignored it because it was easier to believe my family wouldn't betray me. But after the prom threats, something felt wrong. Then came the bank email. Late Tuesday afternoon, my inbox pinged with a subject line that made my stomach drop. Large transaction alert. A $5,000 transfer had gone out that same morning, without my approval. I stared at the screen, heart racing. $5,000. Where did it go? And why were they so desperate for prom money if they could move $5,000 like it was nothing? I called my sister immediately. "What's going on with the family account?" I asked, keeping my voice controlled. She snapped. "I don't know. Ask Mom and Dad. Why are you always so suspicious?" $5,000 disappeared, I said. "You seriously know nothing?" She laughed coldly. "You're overreacting. It's probably nothing." And she hung up. That's when I knew. She wasn't just entitled. She was hiding something. I realized I couldn't trust my family for answers, so I called the one person I knew would tell me the truth, my friend Ellen Ward, a lawyer who worked down the hall from me. That evening, I sat in her office and explained everything: the prom demand, the threats, the bank alert. Ellen didn't waste time. She logged into the account portal, pulled transaction history, and started scrolling. Her expression changed almost immediately. "Bridget," she said quietly, "there are multiple large withdrawals. Some are going to creditors, others to retail." "Retail?" I repeated. Ellen scrolled further. "High-end boutiques, jewelry stores, restaurants, even a travel agency." My stomach twisted. This wasn't groceries. This wasn't utilities. Ellen kept digging. "It looks like your parents have been using this account to pay debts," she said. "Credit cards, a car loan, and..." She paused, eyes narrowing. "A second mortgage." I felt like the air left my lungs. A second mortgage? They had never mentioned it. They had told me the house was nearly paid off. Then Ellen pointed out another line. "And here, consistent payments to an event planner." She highlighted the charge. "Prom planner." Suddenly, my sister's $2,800 demand made 6 cents. They weren't asking me to pay for prom. They were demanding I keep funding the system they had built. A system where my money kept their debts hidden and my sister spoiled. When Ellen finally printed the records and placed them in front of me, I saw the number that made my hands go cold. Over 4 years, $100,000 had been drained. My money, quietly siphoned. I had been paying for lies, and I was done.
The next morning, I called the bank and closed the joint account. The process took 10 minutes, but emotionally, it felt like cutting a chain that had been wrapped around me for years. Then I wrote a short email to my parents and sister. "The joint account is closed. I know about the $100,000. No more money." I pressed send, and within hours, my phone exploded. My sister called first, her voice panicked and furious. "You can't do this. We need that account." I kept my voice calm. "Need it for what? More designer dresses?" She screamed, "You're tearing this family apart," and hung up. My mother sent a long message full of blame. "How dare you accuse us? We needed that money to survive." Survive, with luxury trips and prom planners. My father's message was shorter, but desperate. "Bridget, think about what you're doing to us." I didn't reply. A week later, I drove to their house with a folder of printed statements. I walked into their living room and felt the tension immediately. My mother on the couch, eyes sharp. My father near the window, arms crossed. My sister slumped in a chair, staring at her phone like none of it mattered. I dropped the folder on the table. "I know everything," I said. "You took $100,000, and you're drowning in $500,000 of debt." I spread the documents out, proof of credit cards, loans, hidden mortgage, and thousands spent on my sister's lifestyle. My mother didn't look guilty. She looked offended. "How could you invade our privacy?" she snapped. "This is family." "Family?" I said, voice tight. "Family doesn't lie and steal." My father stepped forward. "You don't understand," he said. "We had no choice. Debts piled up. You were supposed to help." "Supposed to?" I repeated. "I already helped, for years." Then my mother cried and tried to turn it into a sacrifice story. "We did this for her, for your sister's future." I looked at my sister, waiting for one word, an apology, any sign of shame. She said nothing. That silence hurt more than their shouting. My father raised his voice. You can't walk away from us. You owe us. That was the moment something in me snapped clean in a way that felt like freedom. I don't owe you anything, I said. I closed the account. No more money. You're on your own. My mother gasped dramatically. My father accused me of betrayal. My sister stared, panicked, but still silent. I grabbed the folder back and walked out. I'm done, I said at the door. And this time, I meant it. When I got home, I blocked them all. Parents, sister, emails filtered, numbers blocked. Months later, I heard through a cousin that my parents filed bankruptcy. They lost the house. The debt crushed them. And my sister? She got a part-time job at a clothing store. The same girl who believed she deserved $2,800 learned what it means to earn a paycheck. As for me, I found peace. Therapy helped. Boundaries helped. And the biggest lesson of my life became clear. Family does not mean endless obligation. Love should never come with a price tag. And protecting yourself isn't selfish. It's survival.